8. Strength. She walked back to her car with a weary step, and she sat in her car for a couple of minutes. She was not looking forward to returning home. Carina pouted before thinking of her dead father. Her mother had stuck with him through the good times and the bad times, and here was Carina cowering just because her man suffered a stupid crying fit. It is normal for men to cry. Everyone cries, said Carina, bringing out her bunny Nana from her purse, and this was a habit she still retained from her youth. Better that he cries than for him to explode in a violent rage, said Nana. Carina did the Nana voice. Why do you think he said I have nothing and nobody? Am I truly nothing to him? Asked Carina. Who can say, said Nana in deep contemplation. Perhaps you're reading too much into these Freudian slips. He was half asleep after all. A person knocked on her window, and Carina screeched like a peacock, completely in surprise, and she rolled her window to see what Lysandra wanted. If you're done talking to yourself, do you want to go out to have a couple of drinks? Said Lysandra. It is Monday, said Carina. Then let's go to the mall instead, said Lysandra. Is the monster-in-law visiting us, Carina? Pretty much, said Lysandra. Carina texted home to inform the family that she was going to arrive a little late, and the friends drove to the Dolphin Mall, and they left their lab coats in the car to walk about in their scrubs, and they asked a man at the window shop while they talked about work. Eventually, Lysandra gravitated to Victoria's Secret, and the store was having a special sale on sportswear, and she was never the type to pass up a sale, and she ended up purchasing a handful of undergarments. Lysandra threw Carina a thumb before saying, For your man. I don't think this will fit Bruno, said Carina jokingly. You have been together since the summer. Is the fire still burning, or are you too bored of each other? Asked Lysandra. We haven't gotten bored yet, but we no longer feel the same pressure we once did to mate every 5 seconds, said Carina. Mate, asked Lysandra, laughing. I mean fuck, said Carina. My friend Ken is allergic to the word sex and fuck, so he has all of us using the word mate from time to time because it has rubbed off on us. He sounds like he needs a woman, said Lysandra, trying on a bra over her clothing. She wasn't in the mood to do the line in the changing room. Send him my way, and I will set him straight. But you are married, said Carina. So that hasn't stopped my man from seeking the affections of another. And thank God he has gone up so much weight, so he hasn't had any luck yet. And with the car he drives, I doubt any woman will be willing to give him a chance, said Lysandra bitterly. But has he cheated on you? Asked Carina. No, but his outfit stinks of a woman's perfume, and one of his white shirts had a woman's kiss, said Lysandra. Sounds like a setup, said Carina. I mean, come on, if he was cheating on you, do you think he would be so obvious? I mean, guys are dumb, but they are not that dumb. Yeah, maybe I'm overthinking things, said Lysandra thoughtfully. It was probably the monster-in-law creating controversy. This isn't the first time she has tried to tear us apart. She's old, you probably only have to put up with her for a couple of more years, said Carina, laughing before nudging her friend with her elbow. Lysandra laughed before saying, Bite your tongue, Carina, and we shouldn't be hoping for a person to die. It isn't her fault that she is a thorn in my side. The hours rolled lazily by in the mall, and Carina decided to go home around 6, and she wanted to be at home just in time for dinner, and on her drive back home she noticed a car following her. The car had tinted windows, so she wasn't able to see the face of their mysterious stalker. The car followed her all the way to her neighborhood, and when she got out of the house, the stalker continued on his way. And she breathed a sigh of relief when she arrived at home, and sitting by the porch waiting for her was Bruno. And he looked up from his book when he saw her arrive. The first thing he said, Rodrigo told me that there was an interloper looking into our window last night. You don't think it was one of Rebecca's spies? Asked Carina. I asked Rebecca about him, and she told me that my new caretaker, as she likes to call him, is a little bit more southern than the last idiot she paid to keep an eye on me, explained Bruno. So the guy from last night wasn't sent by Rebecca? Asked Carina. Apparently not, but she told me not to worry. My big sister's going to take care of the problem, said Bruno. Now I am doubly worried, said Carina. You don't think that she put a hit on the guy? Rebecca isn't a mafiosa. She's just an upper middle class stay-at-home mom with too much free time on her hands, said Bruno. If your sister has money, why do you own $40,000 in student loan? Asked Carina. I got injured in my last year of college, so I lost my football scholarship, and even with a bright future covering 75% of my classes, I was still forced to get a student loan, explained Bruno. And he thought I would have gotten a job to pay for it, but my classes were at erratic hours, and there was just so much work, and I couldn't work and study at the same time, and even if I had chosen to get a job, it would have made it impossible to find employment while using a cast. A part of him wanted to tell Carina the whole story, though his reserved nature compelled him to only tell her a half-truth. If you needed money, why didn't you ask Rebecca for some? Asked Carina. She was already paying for the dormitory, and I didn't want to owe her any more favors, said Bruno. And that was a short-sighted, stupid decision, said Carina. Yes, but it was my decision. And I'm not asking you to understand it, Carina, just to respect it, said Bruno. And he added tentatively, and I already paid half of it, and in 2 more years it will become nothing but a distant memory. Carina decided not to press the issue, and she couldn't believe that a single year in law school could cost $40,000. And all things considered, Bruno was lucky to have gotten injured so late in his career. Had it happened sooner, he would have owned $250,000 in student debts, and she had bigger things to worry about, like the creeper from the night before. Carina entered the house and she showered before changing into her pajamas, and she saw the news while she rested her head on Bruno's lap, and the man would absentmindedly pet her hair while he would read his book with his free hand. What is so interesting about this Tomoe? Asked Carina, looking at the book. She has a beauty mark under her eye. That is what is interesting about her, said Bruno jokingly. Carina, sitting up, took the book before exclaiming, Wait a minute, you're reading a manga. Kane lent it to me, and I had nothing new to read, so I decided to borrow something from his collection, explained Bruno. Did you stop by his house today? Asked Carina. I did, said Bruno. Why? Asked Carina. To say hello, said Bruno, and he thought, just because he was your friend first doesn't mean that I need your permission to visit him whenever the mood strikes me. Right, said Carina dryly. He left the sofa to sit by the dinner table, and he found Winona served him a salad, and he mixed it with beans to make it tolerable, and he forced himself to eat until he became nauseous, and at times like this, he really wanted pizza. I am eating a salad too, said Ola, and it's really healthy to eat so much at night. If I eat a salad at night, I get hungry immediately. There's a reason why they use these meals as appetizers, protested Bruno. You wouldn't feel hungry if you ate it all, said Una, pointing at Bruno's half-finished bowl. Yes, Mom, said Bruno, attempting to eat another bite. Mom, just leave him alone. Just tell me what you want to eat and I will make it for you, said Carina. I want pizza, said Bruno. You have pizza for lunch, said Ola. Is junk food the only thing you eat? Didn't your grandma make you any type of home cooking? Asked Carina. Bruno half with frustration as he tapped his fingers nervously before saying, I was a picky eater as a child, and my diet consisted of steak and spaghetti, and I also ate chicken nuggets with fries and macaroni and cheese, and if I was to have any vegetable, they had to become in burrito form, though never with rice, though what I ate as a child is not going to make enjoying this salad any better. Taste change, and I can only stomach vegetables if you ground them up and turn them into a smoothie. The dinner was concluded unsatisfactory for Bruno, and he returned to reading his little graphic novel, and every so often he would turn to look at the refrigerator. He was starving to death, and since he couldn't stop thinking about eating, he went to sleep early, and Carina wasn't aware of her boyfriend's inner turmoil. All she saw was that 1 minute they were watching Betty La Fea, and the next Bruno had gone to bed with a stupid comic book. Carina tapped the armrest of her couch nervously. A singular idea had possessed her. Bruno had gone to bed early to have some alone time with his Tomoe. Even if it was a woman made of paper, Carina couldn't help but feel jealous of her. Carina, what's the matter? Asked Ola, and she had noticed her daughter looking visibly upset. Nothing is stupid. I feel stupid. If I say it aloud, it is going to sound stupid, said Carina, rubbing her temple. There is no shame in asking your man for a little company. said Unla, teasing her daughter. It isn't about that, Mom. Sheesh, said Carina, folding her arms. Bruno isn't the only person sleeping on his laurels, Carina, said Unla. Are you saying that he has become disinterested because I'm projecting myself as disinterested, asked Carina. Well, think about it. The last few days you have shown more concern for Rebecca and her daughters than for your boyfriend, said Unla. As a passive audience, she was able to take an objective view of her daughter's activities. When he defended you from Rebecca, you turned against him. I didn't turn against him. I was trying to mediate. They are a family. They should get along, said Carina. Aquí hay mucha tela por qué cortar, Carina. A person doesn't grow to hate another without a reason, said Unla. But hating his sister because she showed him that his girlfriend was cheating on him seems a little too extreme, and if someone showed me irrefutable proof that Bruno was cheating on me, I wouldn't hate the messenger, said Carina. Of course you wouldn't, because the messenger gave you confirmation over a problem that only existed in your head. And do not forget what happened with Malik. You doubted the strength of your bond so much that a blurry photo was all it took for you to refuse to hear his truth, said Unla. This little shot gave Carina plenty to think about. The reason why she was so quick to feel jealous was because of her doubts, and she went to her bedroom and she saw by the nightstand the comic book Tomoe, and she photographed the front cover of the book, and the more she looked at the character, the more jealous she felt, and in the end she huffed with frustration, and she lay down beside her man. And Bruno shifted in his sleep, and his arm instinctively searched for Carina, and when he found her, he drew her into his embrace. And Carina smiled warmly, and even in his sleep, Bruno yearned for her. The following morning, Carina awoke to find her bed early. Bruno had awoken early since he had gone to sleep early, and he had spent the morning working out before having a light breakfast with Rodrigo, and the two had already left for work, and Carina pouting got ready for her work, and she spent the morning breakfast extremely moody, and this foul mood carried her to work. And that day she had to vaccinate patients, and she tried to distract her first patient with a plushie, and while the toddler was looking at the plushie, she applied the vaccine with a swift hand motion. Success, the child didn't notice the prick on his chubby leg, and she attempted the plushie trick with an older patient, and the 5-year-old brat was onto her, and try as she might, she couldn't get the child to stop looking at the needle. It is a lot worse if you look at it, said Carina. Not looking at it didn't make it any better, said her patient. And Carina sighed with frustration before taking careful aim, and her patient instinctively moved back when he saw the needle coming closer, and in the end the mother had to hold the kid down to get his arm to stand still. And while since he was tensing up, Carina was forced to press down harder to pierce through the muscle, and this naturally increased the pain of their getting vaccinated, and the child started crying most pitifully, and even with a lollipop the kid wouldn't just stop crying. The other two children in the waiting room grew tense, and this made it difficult for Carina to painlessly vaccinate them. And when lunchtime came, she had a serious headache, and by the end of her work shift, she was mentally exhausted. And she drove directly to her home with the intention of rolling around the hay with Bruno. She really needed him to help her de-stress. Hello, bye-bye and God bless.